Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Today is Gopastami. Today is also the disappearance day of Dhananjay Pandit, the disappearance day of Gadadhar Das Goswami, and the disappearance day of Srila Srinivas Acharya. And of course, we have our daily recitation of Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 and Kunti Maharani's prayers, and our daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading of the 10th canto, 4th chapter. So we will see how much we are able to cover today within the time that we have. Let's begin with reciting the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The 16th chapter is, yes, of course, Srinivas Acharya is different from Srivas Pandit. So we are reciting from the 16th chapter, Daiva Asura Sampatti Yoga. We'll read the translations first, and then we will recite the verses. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. Gentle. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world, taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige. The demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization, and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani's prayers from the first canto. Oh, we didn't recite. Oh, sorry. I forgot. Let's recite the verses. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas Tyagah Shantir Apaishunam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Mardavam Hrir Achapalam Tejah Kshama Dhritihi Shaucham अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थ सम्पदमासुरीम् दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धायासुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डवा. द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्ता आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जना न विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारो न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते असत्यम् अप्रतिष्ठं ते जगद आहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्पर सम्भूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एतां दृष्टिम् अवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः कामम् आश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः चिन्ताम् अपरिमेयां च प्रलयान्ताम् उपाश्रिताः कामोपभोगपरमा एतावद् इति निश्चिताः आशापाशशतैर्बद्धाः कामक्रोधापरायणाः ईहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थसञ्चयान् इदम् अद्य मया लब्धम् इमं प्राप्स्ये मनोरथम् इदम् अस्तीदमपि मे भविष्यति पुनर्धनम् असौ मया हतः शत्रुर्हनिष्ये चापरानपि ईश्वरोऽहम् अहं भोगी सिद्धोऽहं बलवान् सुखी आढ्योऽभिजनवानस्मि कोऽन्योऽस्ति सदृशो मया यक्ष्ये दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञानविमोहिताः अनेकचित्तविभ्रान्ता मोहजालसमावृताः प्रसक्ताः कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च आत्मसम्भाविताः स्तब्धा धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेनाविधिपूर्वकम् अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिताः मामात्मपरदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तोऽभ्यसूयकाः तान् अहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रम् अशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु आसुरीं योनिमापन्ना मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि माम् अप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय यतो यान्त्यधमां गतिम् त्रिविधं नरकस्येदं द्वारं नाशनमात्मनः कामः क्रोधस्तथा लोभस्तस्मादेतत्त्रयं त्यजेत् एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयस्ततो याति परां गतिम् यः शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिम् अवाप्नोति न सुखं न परां गतिम् तस्मात् शास्त्रं प्रमाणं ते कार्याकार्यव्यवस्थितौ ज्ञात्वा शास्त्रविधानोक्तं कर्म कर्तुम् इहार्हसि। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। श्रीमद् ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudev, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda and the other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Today's Gopastami. Krishna is the enlivener of the cows and the senses. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. O Rishikesha, master of the senses and lord of lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious King Kamsa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poisoned cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwathama. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, and all-pervasive one, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work, though you are inactive, and that you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you are afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. Others say that the world being overburdened like a boat at sea is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned souls suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today, though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us? Now, when all kings are at enmity with us? As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. O Gadadhar Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. O Krishna, O friend of Arjun, O chief amongst the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distresses of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisances. So we'll recite the Sanskrit shloka now of Kunti Maharani's prayers. Okay, from text 18 onwards. Kuntyuvacha namasye purusham tvadyam Ishwaram prakrite param alaksham sarva bhutanam antarbahir avasthitam maya javanikachannam ajnadhokshajam avyayam nalakshase mudhadrisha nato natyadharo yatha तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनाम् अमलात्मनां भक्तियोगविधानार्थं कथं पश्येम हि स्त्रियः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्घ्रये यथा हृषीकेशखलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धाति चिरं शुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वयैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात् विशान्महाग्ने पुरुषाददर्शनात् असत्सभाया वनवासकृच्छ्रतः मृधे मृधेनेकमहारथास्त्रतो द्रौण्यस्त्रतश्चास्म हरेभिरक्षिताः विपदः सन्तु ताः शश्वत् तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यत् स्यात् अपुनर्भव दर्शनम् जन्मैश्वर्यश्रुतश्रीभिरेधमानामदः पुमान् नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वाम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्ता गुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यापतये नमः मन्ये त्वां कालमीशानम् अनादिनिधनं विभुं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मिथः कलिः न वेद कश्चित् भगवंश्चिकीर्षितं तवेहमानस्य नृणां विडम्बनम् न यस्य कश्चित् दयितोऽस्ति कर्हिचित् द्वेष्यश्च यस्मिन् विषमामतिर्नृणाम् जन्म कर्म च विश्वात्मन् अजस्या कर्तुरात्मनः तिर्यन्ऋषिषु यादस्तु तद् अत्यन्त विडम्बनम् गोप्या ददे त्वयि कृतागसिदाम तावत् या ते दशाश्रुकलिलाञ्जनसम्भ्रमाक्षम् वक्त्रं निनीय भयभावनया स्थितस्या सा मां विमोहयति भीरपि यद्बिभेति केचिदाहुरजं जातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्य यान्ववाये मलयस्येव चन्दनम् अपरे वसुदेवस्य देवक्यां याचितोऽभ्यगात् अजस्त्वम् अस्य क्षेमाय वधाय चासुरद्विषाम् भारावतारणायान्ये भुवो नाव इवो दधौ सीदन्त्या भूरि भारेण जातो ह्यात्मभुवार्थितः भवेस्मिन् क्लिश्यमानानाम् अविद्या कामकर्मभिः श्रवणस्मरणार्हाणि करिष्यन्निति केचन शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्त्यभीक्ष्णशः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवेहितं जनाः त एव पश्यन्त्यचिरेण तावकम् भवप्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम् अप्यद्यनस्त्वं स्वकृते हितप्रभो जिहाससि स्वित्सुहृदोऽनुजीविनः येषां न चान्यद्भवतः पदाम्बुजात् पारायणं राजसुयोजितां हसाम् केवयं नाम रूपाभ्यां यदुभिः सह पाण्डवाः भवतो दर्शनं यर्हि हृषिकाणाम् इवेशितुः नेयं शोभिष्यते तत्र यथेदानीं गदाधरा त्वत्पदैरङ्किता भाति स्वलक्षणा विलक्षितैः इमे जनपदा स्वृद्धा सुपक्वौषधिविरुधः वनाद्रिनद्युन् उदन् वनाद्रिनद्युदन्वन्तो ह्येदन्ते तव वीक्षितैः अतः विश्वेश्व विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशम् इमं छिन्धि दृढं पाण्डुषु वृष्णिषु त्वयि मे नन्यविषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दग्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सख वृष्णिऋषभावनैदृग् राजन्यवंश दहनानपवर्गवीर्या गोविन्द गोद्विज सुरार्तिहरावतारा योगेश्वराखिल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। श्रीमती कुंती महारानी's prayers की जय। The last one is your favorite shloka. Okay. So let's also read from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 4. We'll read maybe one shloka and then we'll just discuss a little bit about Gopastami. And then also the disappearance days of Acaryas. I will just read them out to you and we'll conclude. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 4. We were reading that the ministers of Kamsa are advising Kamsa how to destroy, so how to get over the enemies. Who are the enemies? The demigods. And the root of the demigods is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu resides where there is Vedic culture, where there is tapasya, where there is yagyas, where there is brahmanas, where there is cows. So let's destroy them. Let's kill the cows so that there won't be any milk and no ghee. Just see. So just the opposite. Today is Gopastami. In Shastras, it is said that that place, that country where the cows and bulls are happy, they're cheerful, then that country is very, prosperous, and it's advancing. That place where that village or that country or that kingdom where the cows and bulls are very cheerful, where they are happy, then that place flourishes like anything. Mm. And here, what is the Asura's plan? Just the opposite. Let's kill the cows, because they also know where there are cows, the place flourishes. How is the place flourishing? Because Lord Vishnu resides there. Where Lord Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. He's the well-wisher of the cows. Mm. And the Brahmanas. So let's kill the Brahmanas and cows. That's their plan. Mm. So that's what we read yesterday. So what was the last verse that we read yesterday? What did they say? The ministers. Lord Vishnu, the super soul within the core of everyone's heart, is the ultimate enemy of the Asuras, okay? And is therefore known as Asura Dvit, the enemy of Asura. He is the leader of all the demigods, because all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, exist under his protection. The great saintly persons, sages and Vaishnavas also depend upon him. To persecute the Vaishnavas, therefore, is the only way to kill Vishnu. That's the thing. That's the final conclusion for the Asuras. Kill Vishnu. Yes. Same what even Hiranyakashipu also attempted the same thing. Ravana also attempted the same thing. This is Asura's mentality. Kill Lord Vishnu. Hmm? So we saw that yesterday. Sahi Sarva Suradhyaksha. Suradhyaksha means who is the leader of all the Suras, Devatas. He, Asura Dvid, who is the enemy of the Asura. Guhashayaha. Guhashayaha means he's staying in the hearts of the living entities as Paramatma. Tan Mula Devata Sarvaha. He is the root of all the Devatas. Sa Ishwaraha of Lord Shiva. Sa Chaturmukhaha of Lord Brahma. He is the root, he is the protector. Ayam vai tad vadhopaya. If you want to kill that person, yad rishinam vihamsanam. You have to kill the Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas and the sages, because he is their protector also. If we kill them, then he is killed. Sri Shuka Uvacha Evam Durmantri Bihi Kamsaha Saha Sammantrya Durmatihi Brahmahimsam Hitam Mene Kala Pashavrito Suraha. Kala Pashavrito Suraha. Sukadev Goswami is saying now. Sukadev Goswami continued, thus, having considered the instructions of his bad ministers, Kamsa, who was bound by the laws of Yamaraj, Yeah. So if you become a devotee, pure devotee, Yamaraj has no control on you. Otherwise, everyone is bound. In the conditioned soul, everyone is bound by the noose of Yamaraj, by our karma, because Yamaraj is the one who is giving us the results of karma. He is the judge who's deciding what punishment you should get, where you should go in your next life based on your karma. So everyone is in the grip of Yamaraj, except those who are liberated from karma. Who is liberated from karma? One who is a pure devotee, one who takes to the spiritual path, okay? One who transcends the three modes. So, Sukadev Goswami continued, is Kamsa, has he transcended the three modes? No, he's only speaking the philosophy. You are not this body, you are spirit soul. But he's still in the same consciousness. So he is certainly under the grip of Yamaraj. Thus, having considered the instructions. Yeah, under the laws of Yamaraj. That's what is written. Oh, loss, L-O-S-S, sorry, laws, L-A-W-S. That was a mistake. Laws of Yamaraj, not loss. Thus, having considered the instructions of his bad ministers, Kamsa, who was bound by the laws of Yamaraj and devoid of good intelligence because he was a demon, decided to persecute the saintly persons, the Brahmanas. So he agreed with whatever they proposed. He decided to persecute the saintly persons, the Brahmanas, as the only way to achieve his good fortune. So he also believed that his good fortune is in killing Lord Vishnu, and the way to kill Lord Vishnu is to persecute the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, as per the advice of his ministers. Why he agreed like this? Because he lost all his good intelligence, his association. His bad ministers in that association. He lost his good intelligence. He was bound by the laws of Yamaraj, so he agreed. Yes, let's persecute the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Purport. Srila Lochandas Thakur has sung, Apana karma bhunjaye shamana kahaye lochana dasa. Apana karma bhunjaye shamana. Right? Your own karma is going to make you suffer like anything. Bhunjaye shamana. Instead of taking good instructions from the sages and the shastras, where should we get our intelligence? Just now when we read the last verse of the 16th chapter is saying what? It is saying you should know from Shastras what is to be done and what is not to be done. From Shastras we should understand, not from my friends, not from my neighbors, not from anyone else, my boss. Because what is the source of their knowledge? Where are they getting? They are going to follow their own concocted mind and intelligence, and you will follow their advice. What will happen? Blind leading the blind. So what is to be done and what is not to be done? Don't follow your own mind also. This is another myth. I feel like this, so I'll do like this. No, that is false. This is all false propaganda, right? Follow your heart, follow your mind, do what you feel like doing. No. It's not right. Don't follow your heart. You can follow your heart. So all this will be discussed in that course that I told you, Shastra Pramanam. It's a very important course. I would highly suggest that please attend. If you're not able to attend live because you have work, you can attend the recordings later on. But what is the importance of Shastra? Why we should, and it will be explained scientifically by Srila Jiva Goswami. Very scientifically. Even, it will be very helpful in your, for ourselves, why we should believe in Shastra in our day-to-day dealings in various fields. You have some problems and you're not able to figure out who is right. There's two parties. Is this person right? Is that person right? On which side should I be? Should I be on this person's side or that person's side? What is my heart telling and what is this person's heart telling? Who should you follow? That's the question here. What is the right thing to do? How will you know? Don't go by majority. It's not by majority. That's another myth, right? In democracy, by majority, whoever gets majority, that person is the right person. No, it's not like that. Because what is the qualification of the people who are voting? What is their qualification? They know what they're doing. On what basis? Oh, this person looks very attractive, very handsome, so I will vote for this person. No, you cannot do that. So it's not that because 99 people are doing something, therefore that must be right, or based on the number of views, right? Oh, more views means this must be correct. Less views means this is not so important. No, we cannot go by popularity. No. That popularity changes according to time, because time, we are reading about the three modes, right? Certain time, even just look at the day, right? The morning hours are influenced by the mode of goodness. Afternoon hours are influenced by the mode of passion. Evening and late night hours, right? Night hours are influenced by the mode of ignorance. That means because of that, just being in that time, that particular mode is going to be more powerful. Naturally, those activities that are in the modes of passion will be prominent in that activity. If you see, when do all criminal activities take place? Like murdering, rape, stealing. When do they take place? In the night. Why? Because the mode of ignorance is prominent at night. So that facilitates, right? Those activities which are in the mode of ignorance, they can be performed at that time. Similarly, early morning hours, mode of goodness. So whatever meditation you want to do, worshipping activities, studying, memorizing, morning hours are very good. Why? because mode of goodness is prominent. So those activities will happen regardless of who you are. I'm not saying only a devotee. Even those who are karmis, they do morning some worship, right? Why? Because that is that time is favorable for uh, activities in the mode of goodness. So, and passionate activities, I heard, I haven't worked in corporate, but I have heard that all the meetings, right, they will arrange in afternoon time when they have to make some very important decisions. Huh? That's like a bad time to do. We discuss important. See, Rasipriya is saying she reads Srila Prabhupada's memories and books written by various Prabhupada disciples. She's saying Srila Prabhupada said that is the worst time. Afternoon time is the worst time to hold meetings to make important decisions. And if you look in corporates, that's when they make all their arrange their meetings, because the mode of passion is prominent and they want to drive all the employees, right, to like, because the mode of passion is prominent at that time. These are our goals, this is what we must achieve, right? So they arrange meetings at that time because the mode of passion is prominent. So like that, the modes are prominent, and in those modes, the activities that are in those modes, they will flourish. They will flourish. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if you're following your mind, your mind, it can depend on the time of the day when you're thinking or planning, and overall also everybody's mind and your gross body and subtle body, it is influenced by the modes, different degrees. So if you're depending on your own mind and your own intelligence to decide what is right and what is wrong, your mind and intelligence is affected by those modes. If you're in the mode of goodness, then you'll think in those lines. If you're mostly in the mode of ignorance, then the conclusion that you will come to will be under the influence of mode of ignorance. That does not mean what you're thinking is right. This is another myth, thinking that I'm following my heart. You're not following your heart. So really, for us, the guideline to find out what is the right thing to do in any field, not just about bhakti and Supreme Lord, certainly, but in any field, even in our dealings in this material world, who is the authority? Who is the pramana? Who is the evidence? Evidence, when do you use evidence? In a court, when there is, two people, right? Both of them have a conflict. Now, how you'll decide? On what authority does the judge decide who is right and who is wrong? Based on evidence. The evidence which is most, powerful. Based on that evidence, he will decide, yes, this is what it is. So similarly, if you are facing conflict, if you're facing a dilemma about what is to be done, what is not to be done, who is right and who is wrong, what's your evidence? Who's your authority? Shastra. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, last verse, 24th verse of 16th chapter. 23rd verse says, anyone who rejects Shastra, anyone who is rejecting Shastra, he won't get any perfection, he won't get any happiness, forget about getting ultimate destination, not possible. Then in the 24th verse, what did we read? That if you want to know, you must know, it is your duty to know what is to be done and what is not to be done. How? From Shastra you should know. And after knowing, now you should apply it. You should do what Shastra is asking us to do, and we should give up what Shastra is asking us to give up. And by doing that, we can make our life successful. So the point is, Shastra is pramana. Why did we go there? Let me see. Shastra came here, that's why. Instead of taking good instructions from the sages and Shastras, that's why. Okay, so this is Srila Prabhupada started off the purport with Srila Lochandas Thakur's song. Apana karama bhunjaye shamana kahaye lochana dasa. Instead of taking good instructions from the sages and shastras, godless non-devotees act whimsically according to their own plans. Also, Krishna says everything very clearly. In the 17th chapter, also yesterday I think I was telling you, Krishna clearly says that anyone who is giving up shastras and acting, even if that person looks like a very great devotee, or he can look like a very responsible person in society, basically worship. There the talk is about worship. He's worshipping with great faith in any whatever form he's worshipping or anything, but he's doing with great faith, very religiously he's doing, but he's not following shastra. What is Krishna's uh, judgment on that? What is Krishna's opinion on that? Conclusion: Krishna says that person is certainly filled with dambha and ahankara. Dambha means pride, ahankara, false ego, not real ego, mithya ahankara. I am so great, I am so intelligent, I can decide what I want to do. Why do I have to listen to Shastra? This is his mentality. Who is like that? Asuras like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. This is their mentality. Naturally, when someone has this type of ahankara and dambha, they will be filled with kama, lust, raga, and they will be intoxicated with the desire with lust. Lust is what? Intense attachment, right? Intense attachment. They will be intoxicated with attachment for power, and they will be filled with lust. All this is why. That means if you see someone is rejecting Shastra, you should conclude they have all these things. Or one cannot have all these things unless he's rejecting Shastra. Both. If you see these qualities, you should understand that this person is rejecting Shastra. He has these qualities because he's rejecting Shastra. Or if you see someone is going against Shastra, then you should understand, even though he may look like a great person, great, uh, leader or great devotee, if he's going against Shastra, that means you should conclude he has all these qualities: dambha, ahankara, lust, attachment. Krishna's verdict, Krishna's judgment. So, what should we do? We should always consult Shastra about what is to be done and what is not to be done. Shastra is pramana. Shastra is the authority. And of course, great sages, who are great sages? Great sages will tell us what is there in Shastra. When we talk about Guru Parampara, they cannot have any different opinion from each other. It's not possible. It's just one line. It's coming from Krishna in Parampara, disciplic succession. There's no question of having different opinion, that one Acharya will negate the other Acharya. It's not possible. For example, since we are talking about Shastra here, Narad Muni said, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhakti Utpatayeva Kalpate. Without following Shastric injunctions, if you do bhakti in your own way, it creates disturbance in society. You're not going to get the ultimate benefit. On the contrary, you will simply create disturbance in society if you practice bhakti without following the Shastric injunctions. What did Srila Rupa Goswami say? Srila Rupa Goswami said, Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha. Niyamagraha. What is niyama? Niyama means the rules and regulations given in Shastra. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbhir bhakti vinashyati. These 6 things will destroy your bhakti. Atyahara, prayasa, prajalpa, niyamagraha, Janasanga, and Laulya. These 6 things will destroy your bhakti. So there Niyamagraha means what? Niyamagraha means both are there. One is, so these things are things which should not be done. Atyahara. That means you should not follow Shastra. Is that what it means? These things are not to be done. These 6 things are not to be done. Niyamagraha means you follow Shastric rules, but don't be so caught up in following the Shastric rules that you forget about bhakti. Because when you say Shastra, there are so many sections. Vedas are the Shastra. So in Vedas, you have Karma Kanda, you have so many things, right? How to make material prosperity, various types of yagyas and charity, dana, tapa, all this is there. Now, is it wrong? If you say it is wrong, it's an offense. It's not wrong. But you don't need to do all that. Your goal is pure devotional service. So you are not required. What Rupa Goswami is saying is you are not required to follow all those details of that are given in Shastra, which are outside of bhakti. If those rules and regulations of Shastra are not helping you in progressing in bhakti directly, you don't have to do those. You only take those sections of Shastra which will and follow them, which will help you to progress in bhakti. Now, does that mean you reject the remaining and say, no, that's not correct? Can you preach against those? No, you cannot do that. That's for another section of people. Those who qualify for those instructions, they will follow those. You cannot preach against Shastra saying that, oh, no, you cannot. That's an offense. You cannot reject Shastra. If Shastra is saying this is condemned, you cannot do, then you cannot say that no problem, because I'm doing bhakti, even if I reject Shastra, even if I go against Shastra, it's fine. We cannot do that. But we carefully means it's not within our hands, by the way, it's already done. There will be authorities who will decide and tell us this is what you need to follow. For example, Srila Sanatan Goswami, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, they have given us what are the samskaras to be followed by devotees aspiring for Shuddha Bhakti. We also have marriage, we also have Garbhadan Samskara, we also have Anaprasan Samskara, right? We also do the Samskara means what? They are karmas. But even for those who are aspiring for pure devotional service, samskaras are given. But if you see the Vivaha, the wedding samskara in ISKCON, in devotees, and the wedding samskara outside, that wedding goes on for days and days, spending so much money. So there's a lot of, adambar, right? There's a lot of show off there. But devotees also have weddings, but what is the main purpose in this samskara? This samskara is also for the purpose of progressing in pure devotional service. There is no other purpose there. We are not trying to attract crowd. We are not trying to show them how opulent we are, or, that's not the idea. So samskaras devotees also follow. How much do we follow? Who will decide? Acaryas will decide. And once it's decided, now you must strictly follow that. Why we should strictly follow that? By following that strictly, this is parallel to Nishkama Karma Yoga for Gyanis. The samskaras that are given to us, when we follow those samskaras strictly, the way the Nishkama Karma Yogis, by doing their karma without attachment, without attachment to the results, while tolerating the pains and pleasures coming in the way, and offering all those results to the Lord, in the same way, the devotees also, when they do their karma and their samskaras, which are prescribed in the Shastras, they will also get that effect. they will also transcend the material bodily platform, and they will realize that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. And side by side, because they are chanting Hare Krishna, they are hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they are associating with devotees. Their Shraddha is also increasing in bhakti. And once when they get, so it will help them. This lifestyle will help them, that they can now easily take to, that surrender will come very easily when you are on that platform. So the important point here is we should follow what the instructions that are given in Shastra. How much to follow, what all to follow the Acaryas' guidelines about that, what we should follow. But we cannot reject what is said in Shastra. And if anyone says that I'm rejecting, that means Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, Krishna says, anyone who's rejecting, I think it's probably the 5th verse, I think. Krishna says, anyone who rejects, he is Asura. And what will be his activities? He will be doing very severe tapasya, and he'll be doing big, big pujas and yagyas. You may think, wow, he's such a, uh, great person. But if he is rejecting Shastra, you should understand, he's actually Asura. He's Asura, dressed like, some great worshipper or devotee like that. So Shastra, and then so you have to know what to do from Shastras and from sages. See, there is two types of people in this world. There are Vidushas and Avidusha. Vidusha means the learned sages. Learned sages, not just learned, but they are actually liberated personalities. For example, Sukadev Goswami, Srila Vyasdev, like that. So they are Vidushas, they are learned personalities. Their senses are all completely transcendentalized. Their senses are not material anymore. Then whatever they see or whatever they perceive with their senses is also true. It is not false. So you can know what is to be done, what is not to be done from Vidushas. You can take. Who are Vidushas? Those who are liberated. Those who are liberated. So their body, their mind, their senses, everything is completely transcendental. So, and they won't tell you anything which is other than anything which is not in Shastras. Then how to decide who is a Vidusha? That's another question, right? Can you just say, I think, to me, this person looks like this person is Vidusha. Again, you're depending on your own mind. So therefore, getting guidance from Vidusha is also dependent on Shastra. Shastra will tell you who is a Vidusha from whom you can take. So ultimately, our source of, we say Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. But how do you know who is a Sadhu and who is a Guru? Can you say everyone who is wearing saffron is a Sadhu? And Guru, who is a Guru? Who is a Sadhu? How will you know? That also Shastra tells us. Who is Sadhu, who is Guru, even who is Bhagwan also Shastra only tells us. Otherwise, anyone will come and say, I am an incarnation of God, and you'll have to accept. What is your criterion for determining who's God? Someone who can produce some ashes or some gold, you say that is God? Or somebody will just tell you, this is what you were in your past life, then he becomes God, or what? No. To know who is God, also we depend on Shastra. Only when it is mentioned in Shastra, then we accept this person is God. We accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the basis of Shastra, not because Krishna comes and tells us, I am the Supreme Lord. That is afterwards, second. First, on the basis of Shastra. Now you say, but Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, so we are accepting. What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is Shastra. So anyway, this is just a trailer. It's just like a glimpse of what is going to be discussed in that course about Shastra. And I just become excited because from all sides that is coming now. We are reading in the last section of Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, 17th chapter, 18th chapter. We are seeing the importance of Shastra. Here we are reading in the 10th canto, 4th chapter, about the Asuras. There also we are reading about Shastra. And the course that's coming up, that is also Shastra. So I'm just connecting all these things. Okay. Let me at least read this purport. We have to also read about Gopastami. Okay. So instead of taking good instructions from the sages and the Shastras, godless non-devotees act whimsically. So if somebody is not accepting Shastra, you just accept them as a Asura. Asuras are not devotees. Vishnu Bhakta Bhaved Daiva, Asuras Tad Viparyayaha. Asuras are not devotees. Those who are devotees, they are Daiva, divine, Devatas. Those who are not devotees, they are Asuras. And Krishna is saying one who doesn't follow Shastra is Asura. That means one who does not follow Shastra is not a devotee. One who doesn't follow Shastra is not a devotee. Godless non-devotees act whimsically according to their own plans. Actually, however, by the way, all this is Srila Prabhupada's purport, what I'm reading. Actually, however, no one has his own plans because everyone is bound by the laws of nature and must act according to his tendency in material conditional life. This is what I was telling you. We think that I am thinking like this, I am planning like this is my idea, this is my knowledge, this is my intelligence. Nothing is you. All this is material nature. It is simply the modes. It is simply the modes in play. You are simply a spectator sitting there and watching what's going on. And not just watching, you're claiming that it is me. Something the intelligence does, and you say, I am so intelligent, I know so much, right? And then the mind does something, right? That I like this, I don't, and I claim immediately, I like this, I don't like this. It's not you who likes or doesn't like, it is the mind. It is not you who knows or doesn't know, it is your intelligence. Mind, intelligence, and your everything, all this is part of the material prakriti. It's not you. You are simply a servant of the Supreme Lord. That's your identity. But because of ahankara, false ego, by being covered by ahankara, I'm claiming all these things to be mine. I'm so beautiful. I'm so young. I'm so handsome. I'm so intelligent. I'm none of these things. Actually, however, no one has his own plans because everyone is bound by the laws of nature and must act according to his tendency in material conditional life. A dog acts like a dog. Why? Because it got that spirit soul got that body of a dog. The soul is not acting. It is that body acting, subtle and gross body, but the soul is claiming, I'm a dog. He thinks I'm a dog. So everyone is bound by the laws of nature and must act according to his tendency in material conditional life. Therefore, one must change one's own decision. Change your own decision, what your mind is saying, and instead follow the decision of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. What you feel in your mind, in your heart is not important. What you have to see is what I am thinking, is it aligned with what Krishna is saying in Shastra, what devotees are saying in Shastra? For that, you have to study Shastra, you have to hear Shastra in the association of devotees. That's when you will know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Then what your mind says after you are properly, just like rasgulla, which is steeped in sugar syrup, that also becomes filled with sugar syrup. Like that, if your consciousness is absorbed in Shastra, you are hearing, and Shastra also from pure devotees. That's why even when you hear Mahabharata and stories, you have to understand through Srimad Bhagavatam. Any Purana stories, anything you hear, you understand through Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is simply telling us, giving us pure devotional service. There's nothing else. It's like seeing through the lens of Srimad Bhagavatam. You understand. So similarly, if you are absorbed in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, what happens is your mind, your intelligence will be tuned in to that. Then the what do you say, your, the materialness conditioning that is there in the mind and intelligence, it's burnt out and it is ejected out of the body. Then all that remains is transcendence there. Then with that mind, when you get, solutions, that is accepted. That becomes Vaidusha Pratyaksha. That means when you're liberated, your thoughts will not differ from what is said in Shastra. Otherwise, in the conditioned state, don't blindly depend on what your mind is telling you, what your intelligence is telling you. No. Always consult Shastra and those devotees who are, who have understood the Shastra, who are living by the standard of the Shastra. Then, by that, you mold your life. Therefore, now what is Kamsa doing? He is listening to his ministers. The ministers, what are they saying? Based on what comes to their mind. What is their mind? It's in the mode of passion and ignorance. They're asuras. Asuras means they're in the mode of passion and ignorance. Asuras are non-devotees. They are against devotion to Lord Vishnu. And now with their mind, they are coming up with this solution. And Kamsa is accepting them as his authority. Yes, yes, yes. They are guiding me. This is not intelligence. First, see who is the person who is guiding you. What is the authority of that person? Take the authority of Shastra. This is Krishna's instruction. Therefore, one must change one's own decision and follow the decision of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Then one is rescued from punishment by Yamaraj. Then one is rescued from punishment by Yamaraj. Kamsa was not uneducated. We saw that. He was speaking Bhagavad Gita philosophy. He was not uneducated. It appears from his talks with Vasudeva and Devaki that he knew all about the laws of nature. But because of his association, so this is the point, association. Who are we associating with? Who are the people that are guiding us, telling us what we should do? Who are the people that are deciding how we should live, what type of lifestyle we should have? Who is deciding? Who is our association? We have to consider. Are we associating with Shastra, with the devotees in Shastra? Are we molding our life according to Shastra, according to Krishna and devotees? Or am I associating with people who are asuras? And my life is getting, it is molded according to the asuras. Kamsa had this knowledge. He was educated. But because of his association with bad ministers, he could not make a clear decision. He's not able to make a clear decision about his welfare. Even though he studied Shastra, that's another thing, right? Simply studying Shastra will not give you the conclusion. That's another thing. On your own, you'll just sit and study Shastra. You won't come to the right conclusion. No. Mahabharata, it is said, Mahajano yasya gatasya pantha. Mahajano yena gatasya pantha. Only when you follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans will you understand what is the conclusion of Shastras. Because Shrutayo Vibhinna, there are many, many types of Shrutis, Vedas. And first of all, you don't have time to study all the Vedas. Then what to speak of finding out what is the conclusion of all the Vedas? So the only way to understand what is to be done is through Mahajans. Now, who are Mahajans? Obviously, they are living according to Shastra only. Now, you cannot say, oh, you have to follow Mahajans or put Shastra aside. No. That's why Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, all three. You have to check all three. Sadhu, Guru, Shastra. Shastra is the ultimate pramana. But you are not able to understand on your own. So you take help from those who have understood the conclusion of Shastra. Follow in the footsteps of Mahajans. But because of his association with bad ministers, he could not make a clear decision about his welfare. In spite of knowing what is Shastra, he could not come to the right conclusion because of bad association. Therefore, the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 22 text 54 says, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. If one desires his real welfare, he must associate with devotees and saintly persons, and in this way rectify the material condition of life. So, when you have a society of devotees living together means everything. Our lifestyle, right from morning, we rise in the morning until we go to bed at night, and again the next day, day after day after day, we are simply surrounded by devotees all day long, and our activities are devotional service to Krishna. And even when we are working to sustain our bodies, that is also done in the association of devotees. That is sadhu sangha. When you have that type of sadhu sangha, what will happen? All shastras are saying, even if you get lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. So this sadhu sangha is very important, and that is the purpose of Daiva Varnashram societies. We will stop here. Actually, this chapter is ending. I thought we will end, but Srila Prabhupada's purports are there, so that's why we can do it. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. No problem. So quickly, I'll tell you about Gopastami, little bit, not much. So Gopastami is a day when the cows are worshipped, because as we already have been reading that where there are, when the cow is happy, then that whole community will flourish. And if there are no cows, and when the cows are slaughtered, the society is going to, actually that civilization will just disappear in no time. When cows disappear, that means that civilization is also going to disappear soon. So on this day, on Gopashtami day, which is the 8th day after, so we have Govardhan Puja. Last Saturday was Govardhan Puja. Again, today is Gopashtami. On this day, Krishna had, when he completed 5 years and he entered into 6th year, up to 5 years, it's called childhood, right? Balya. And then next is Pauganda. From the 6th up to 10th year is Pauganda. So in this age, right, just when Krishna completes his 5 years and he enters into the 6th year, on this day, on Gopashtami, Krishna is given the charge of cows. Not even 6, he's 5, completed 5, he entered 6. 6th year started. So in today's world, you would say he's 5 years old. But he started the 6th year. He's in the 6th. He completed 5 and he entered the 6th year. And so before that, when he was 3, he was given charge of the calves. They would take the calves out herding, but they wouldn't go too far. They wouldn't go into the forests. It would still be in the outskirts of the village. They wouldn't go deep into the forest. But the older cows are taken far. They would go out in the morning and only come back in the evening, and they would be out of sight all day. So when this, on this day, cows are, they are given a feast, right? They're worshipped, they're bathed nicely and then decorated with, haldi, right? Making beautiful impressions on the bodies of cows, and then perform arti. And main thing is they are fed nicely with good and nice sweetmeats for the cows. That's what is done on Gopashtami. And now Krishna is given charge. So there are 2 pastimes that I heard from His Grace Jananivas Prabhu, and I'm just going to share them with you. Because you see, in Mayapur, on Gopashtami day, if you see, they show the lotus feet of the gopis, Srimati Radharani and all the Ashtasakis. Only once in a year, on Gopashtami day, you can see the lotus feet. Of course, in many temples, here in the West, especially, we see the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani on Radhashtami, right? But in Mayapur, they show only on Gopashtami day. And so what is the reason behind this is, when Krishna is given charge of the cows, now when he's going to go into the forest, the Brajbasis, the gopis who are used to seeing Krishna all day, who's nearby, he's not out of sight, or at least they could hear him. Now he's going to be completely out of sight and out of sound. Until evening, he's going to be gone. So they could not tolerate this separation. So when Krishna was given charge of the cows, and as he was going, they started going behind him. Everyone, including the birds, the animals, everyone, nobody could bear the separation from Krishna. So everybody was with him. So with the cows, Krishna has to go deep into the forest. So when he is going, the gopis also are following. And because it's in the forest, there can be kichad. What do you call kichad? Mud, like wet mud, like when it puddles like that. So they have to lift their skirts and they have to walk in the forest, because they are following Krishna into the forest, and they're holding their skirts up and walking, and that's when you get to see their lotus feet. So that is the pastime. Why on Gopashtami day we are seeing the lotus feet of the gopis, Srimati Radharani and all the Sakhis, everyone, all the ladies, they're following behind Krishna. The other pastime is, you see in Vrindavan, on Gopashtami day, you see that Srimati Radharani is dressed like a cowherd boy. She's dressed in a dhoti. So that pastime goes like this, that once Krishna, it was arranged for Srimati Radharani to come and meet with Krishna, and Srimati Radharani didn't show up. And Krishna became very concerned. And his friends also became concerned for Krishna. Why Srimati Radharani didn't come? So Subal Sakha, Krishna's friend, Subal, it is said that his features resemble exactly like Srimati Radharani's. His complexion is also just like Srimati Radharani's. Usually I don't tell these pastimes. I don't know why I'm telling this. I'm just feeling kind of, I just heard it and I'm trying to say, but anyway, since I started, I'll just say it. But okay, so Subal Sakha he said, I'll go and bring Srimati Radharani. And Jatila and Kutila are the mother-in-law and sister-in-law of Srimati Radharani. So they are guarding, not allowing Srimati Radharani to go. So Subal Sakha comes there as if he's looking for his calf in a hurry. Mataji, Mataji, I can't find my calf. I saw my calf. It went into your house. So Jatila said, I know you are a friend of Krishna's. If you are here, that means he's somewhere around here. He'll try to get to my daughter-in-law. So go away from here, go away. Please, 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 Mataji, let me look for my calf. If I don't take the calf back, I'm going to be in big trouble. I beg you, please. Then Jatila said, I'm giving you only 2 minutes. Just go quickly and look for the calf and come back. So he ran inside and then he found Srimati Radha. He said, Krishna's waiting for you. What happened? Why you didn't come? See, Jatila is guarding me. What can I do? Even I want to go. I cannot go. All right, I have a plan. You take my dhoti. You wear my dhoti and I'll dress up like you and I'll sit here and you go away. You take the calf and you go. No, you go. So Radharani said, how is it possible for me to go? you look like a boy and I look like a girl. Anyone can tell, my form is different, my shape is different. So I said, it's okay. You just pick up a calf and, hold the calf against your chest like this, and then you just run away. So she said, all right. So she dresses up like a cowherd boy wearing the dhoti of Subal Sakha, picking up a calf, and then she runs out. And then Jatila said, oh, you found your calf? Yes, yes, thank you, Mataji. And she goes away. So because on this day she dresses up like this, uh, wearing a dhoti, so in Mayapur, you see that all the devotees, the ladies, young girls, they dress up, they wear turbans on this day, in memory of this pastime, in honor of this pastime. And in Vrindavan, we will see Srimati Radharani is dressed up, with a turban and a dhoti. And of course, because she's wearing a dhoti, her lotus feet are also shown like that. So these are the two pastimes. But mainly on Gopastami, what we do is we worship the cows. They're bathed nicely, they're fed nicely. On Govardhan Puja also, and then Gopastami. So Govardhan Puja is the day before Lord Indra sent all that rains. And Gopastami is, yeah, after Govardhan Puja, then Indra sends the rains. Right. Exactly 1 week after that. Right. So anyway, that was about that. And then today is the disappearance day. I'll just read quickly about these three devotees and then I will end. Today is the disappearance of Gadadhar Das Pandit, Gadadhar Das Goswami. This is not Gadadhar Pandit from Panchatattva. This is Gadadhar Das Goswami. Yes. Gadadhar Das Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has basically two groups of associates. One group, such as the Dwadasha Gopals, who followed with Nityananda, who followed Nityananda Prabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Nityananda Prabhu to preach in Bengal, the Dwadasha Gopals, they go with Nityananda Prabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has two groups of associates. One group, such as the Dwadasha Gopals, who are there, Abhiram Gopals, Gauri Das, Pandit, Dhananjaya, and others, serve Sri Nityananda Prabhu in the mood of Sakyaras. This is one group. Those who are serving Nityananda Prabhu in the mood of Sakhya Bhava. The second group always stay merged in the mellow of Madhurya Ras, conjugal love. Okay? So there is two groups of devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is in Sakhya Ras and who are with Nityananda Prabhu, cowherd boys. And then there's another group who are in the Madhurya Ras, like the gopis or the manjaris, like that. Sri Gadadhar Goswami is a united form of Chandrakanti Gopi, an expansion of Radharani's effulgence. So who is Gadadhar Das Goswami? Srimati Radharani's effulgence, an expansion of Srimati Radharani's effulgence. And Gadadhar Pandit is an expansion of Srimati Radharani, of the Panchatattva. And Gadadhar Das Goswami is actually united. So he's a very special avatar because he has both personalities. We'll read. Sri Gadadhar Goswami is a united form of Chandrakanti Gopi, an expansion of Radharani's effulgence, and Purnananda, an expansion of Lord Balaram's dear girlfriend. Thus, Gadadhar Das was an associate of both Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. That means he has both Sakyaras and Madhuryaras. Krishnadas Kaviraj describes Lord Chaitanya as Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalita, characterized by the emotions and bodily luster of Srimati Radharani. Gadadhar Das is this Dyuti luster. Gadadhar Das is sometimes called the personification of Sri Radhika's divine effulgence. While traveling with Lord Nityananda, Gadadhar would sometimes become absorbed in Madhurya Prema. So he's with Nityananda Prabhu, so he's in Sakyaras, but sometimes he would become absorbed in Madhurya Prema and begin acting and speaking like a Vraja Gopi, putting a clay pot of Ganges water on his head as if he were a gopi. He would call out, "Who wants to buy milk? Who wants to buy yogurt?" As one of Lord Nityananda's chief preachers in Bengal, Gadadhar Das delivered countless sinners and yavanas. Once, while tasting Krishna Prema, he began dancing madly and chanting Krishna's holy names outside the Qazi's mansion. So this Gadadhar, this is not Gadadhar Pandit. Huh?
The same Qazi.
Same Qazi, I think. The irate Muslim magistrate, maybe not, I don't know. The irate Muslim magistrate stormed out of his house to chastise him for disturbing the peace. But beholding the dazzling, attractive form of Gadadhar Das, the Qazi became stunned and dropped his anger. Gadadhar affectionately embraced the Qazi and said, "Gaur Nityananda have appeared to deliver everyone with divine love by distributing the sweet nectar of the holy name of Hari. Why don't you chant this sweet name of Hari?" So what did Qazi say? "Tomorrow I shall chant the name of Hari," replied the Qazi. Hearing the Qazi inadvertently chant the holy name, because he said, "Tomorrow I will chant Hari." He said Hari. Hearing the Qazi inadvertently chant the holy name filled Gadadhar with happiness. He said, "Why tomorrow? You have already chanted today. And this powerful name of Hari will destroy your sins and purify your existence." From that day on, the Qazi took shelter of Sri Gadadhar Das Goswami. His samadhi is in the 64 samadhis area. Yeah. So we'll only read one. We won't read all the biographies because there's 3 personalities. You can read on your own if you find time during the day. This is the website. Gaudiya History is condesiratory.com. There you'll find all the Acharyas' biographies. So there's here, if you go on the right side, there's biographies. So if you can read those biographies. Okay, next. Today is also the disappearance day of Dhananjay Pandit. Dhananjay Pandit here. Dhananjay Pandit. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat describes Dhananjay Pandit as Vilakshana Mahanta, having all the characteristics of a great personality. He took part in Lord Gaurchandra's Navadvip Kirtan pastimes before moving to Vrindavan on Mahaprabhu's order. So this devotee is from Navadvip before Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So, and he moved to Vrindavan on Mahaprabhu's order. Carrying only a kamandalu but remaining absorbed in love of Sri Krishna and Sri Chaitanya, he travelled widely and preached. He established deities of Gaurnitai, Sri Gopinath and Damodar. In Brajalila, he is Vasudama, one of Lord Balaram's Dwadasha Gopals. Okay, so he's also in that Lord Nityananda Prabhu's associates. His samadhi is in the 64 samadhis area. So because there's not much here, we can read one biography of Dhananjay Pandit. Vasudama Sakha Yash Cha Panditaha Sri Dhananjaya. Krishna's friend Vasudama became Dhananjay Pandit in Gaur Lila. This is from Gaura Ganodesha Deepika 127. Dhananjay Pandit was Nityananda Prabhu's dear servant. He was very renounced and full of love for Krishna. From Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 11th chapter, text 31. Opinions vary about Dhananjay Pandit's birthplace and his parentage. In the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhana, it is said that he was born in the village of Jaliagram in Chittagong district on the 5th day of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra. Of course, today we are celebrating the Disappearance Day, okay? But he's born in the month of Chaitra in 1485. His father's name was Shripati Bandopadhyaya. His mother Kalindi Devi. His wife was Haripriya. All Vaishnavas. In the book Gauranga Madhuri, another version is given. He was born in the village of Sian Muluk near Bolpur in the Birbhum district. His father's name was Adidev Vachaspati and his mother Dayamai. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur subscribes to the former view in his Anubhasha. That means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he accepts this one. Although you find this also in other places. Dhananjay Pandit's primary home was in the village of Shitalagram, which is served by the Kaichara post office in the precinct of Mangalkot district of Bardwan. Shitalagram is about 1 mile north of the Kaichara railway station. Okay, this is the location. Yeah. Both the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhana and Gauranga Madhuri agree that Dhananjay Pandit was married and that his wife's name was Haripriya. It is also mentioned that he would prostrate himself in obeisances before Tulsi Devi 3 times a day. Okay? He would offer Dandavat obeisances to Tulsi Maharani 3 times a day. He was married when very young, but this did not stop him from leaving on a pilgrimage shortly after his wedding. His wealthy father gave him money for traveling expenses, but Dhananjaya gave it all to Mahaprabhu and carried only a begging bowl. This particular action has been recalled by the author of Vaishnav Vandana. Dhananjay's main home or Shripat is Shitalagram. The deities of Gopinath, Nitai Gauranga and Damodar, which he worshipped, are still being served there. These deities are brought into a field not far from the temple, where the Disappearance Day festival is held annually in the middle of Magh. Okay, so they hold festival like this, bringing the deities outside in the field. Ambika Kalna, yes. Dhananjay Pandit participated for a few days with Mahaprabhu in his Sankirtan pastimes in Navadvip. For a few days he participated. From there he returned to Shitalagram. Hence he went on a pilgrimage to Vrindavan. Before traveling to Vrindavan, he stayed for a few days in Sachara Panchara, leaving a disciple who was traveling with him in charge of the deity service. So he kept a disciple to take care of the deities. At present, there is no further sign of this temple in Sachara Panchara. Nityananda Prabhu delivered the most fallen and crushed the atheistic. These powers were manifest in his dear devotee Dhananjay. Dhananjay Pandit converted many robbers and atheists in the Shitalagram area. Dhananjay Pandit was an extraordinarily great Vaishnava. Nityananda took up permanent residence in his heart. Where is this said? Chaitanya Bhagavat. As one enters the Shitalagram temple, a small Tulsi altar stands on the left. This is the site of Dhananjay Pandit's Samadhi tomb. His disappearance day is the Shukla Ashtami of Kartik month, which is today, Ashtami, Gopastami. So next we will read about Srinivas Acharya, our first traveling Sankirtan party. Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Pandit and Srinivas Acharya. Today is the disappearance day of Srinivas Acharya. क्या हुआ? S went over. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Here, Srinivas Acharya. Srinivas Acharya. After witnessing Lord Gauranga's sannyas ceremony at Katwa, Chaitanya Das and his pregnant wife visited Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. Soon your wife will give birth to a son named Srinivas, said Lord Chaitanya. And through Srinivas, all the Bhakti Shastras of Rupa and Sanatan will be distributed. When his father left this world, Srinivas visited the remaining associates of Lord Gauranga in Katwa, Navadvip, Jagannath Puri. They blessed Srinivas and gave him valuable instructions for spiritual advancement. Seeing his absorption in Gauranga Prema, they knew he was an embodiment of Gaura Shakti, the energy of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He came to Vrindavan, toured the 12 forests, and took Diksha from Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Radharamanji. Sri Jiva Goswami taught him the complete philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Acknowledging his vast learning, Sri Jiva gave Srinivas the title Acharya. Can you imagine? Srila Jiva Goswami is recognizing the vast learning and giving the title Acharya. So, how exalted must Srinivas Acharya be? Accepting Sri Jiva's order, Srinivas and his two friends, Shyamananda Prabhu and Narottam Das Thakur, pioneered the first transcendental book distribution party. Brajbasi Sankirtan Party ki jai. They took a bullock cart of the Goswamis' devotional writings from Vrindavan and passed them out all over Bengal and Orissa. Srinivas Acharya initiated many disciples, Ramachandra Kaviraj and others, wrote songs full of bhakti, Shad Goswami Ashtakam, and introduced a special kirtan style. When leading kirtan, he would sometimes lose his voice from chanting so long. Besides his external activities of preaching and writing, Srinivas Acharya practiced intensive Raganuga Bhajan. Raganuga Bhajan is the spontaneous internal worship of Radha and Krishna based on the mood and sentiments of the eternal residents of Sri Vrindavan Dham, such as the gopis. While doing Manasi Seva, service to Radha Krishna within one's mind in a mentally conceived spiritual form, he would often bring tangible paraphernalia from these meditations back with him upon returning to external consciousness. Once Srinivas sat Lord Gauranga on a jewel throne within his mind. Then he worshipped the Lord with a golden handled chamara whisk and a 5-flower garland. Pleased with his service, Gaura Rai offered the garland back to Srinivas, who then immediately awoke and lost the meditation. A surprised Srinivas found the sweetest flower garland he ever smelled hanging around his neck when he returned to external consciousness. Another time, Srinivas was in his Siddha Swarup as Mani Manjari, watching Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna and the gopis in Holi Leela, Holi, colorful festival, Holi Leela, joyfully throwing colored powders and dyes on each other. The gopis told Mani Manjari to supply colors to Radhika and side with them in their war against Shyama. The earth shook from their furious battle. Srinivas's meditation abruptly broke. His body was completely covered from head to toe with fragrant and exotic rainbow-colored powders imported from the spiritual world. Holy Leela ki jai. Srinivas Acharya's Samadhi is in the Dhira Samira Samadhi's area. Srila Srinivas Acharya Thakur ki jai. There are many biographies of Srinivas, 2 biographies you can read. We'll have to end here. But Srila Dhananjay Pandit ki jai. Srila Gadadhar Das Goswami ki jai. Hare Krishna. And Sri Gopastami ki jai. Thank you all very much, dear devotees, for joining on Saturday morning. All of you have a wonderful day.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Priyanka Mataji, sorry, we will address that question. I just wanted to answer in class so that others also will hear, either tomorrow or on Monday.
No problem, Mataji. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.